this and maybe awesome, awesome, awesome. There it is. There it is.
Hello.
Okay. Awesome, guys. Thank you for joining us. So maybe we'll just give it 2 more minutes and see, because people are just coming in. I don't know if you can hear me. Is my sound okay, Mrs. Tini?
Very loud and clear. Thank you.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. So apologies about that. Apologies to the guys that are waiting on Facebook too. So what we're going to do, I'm recording this conversation. So we're going to take it and put it back on all our social media platforms so that all the people that wanted to access it can access it on our Facebook. Anyway, to those of you who are joining us on Instagram, I see there are a couple of you. Andy Tato just joined. Usonke just joined. So to those of you who are joining, Melania viewer just joined. So there are a couple of you who are joining now. So this is a conversation. It's a live conversation with Mrs. Xoliswa Tini. And if you do not know her, then you don't belong in South Africa. So thank you so much for joining the conversation. So what we are going to be chatting about for the next 15 minutes or so is how to keep your business alive during the lockdown. So that's the question that we are trying to answer. How are we going to keep the businesses alive during lockdown? It's a difficult time. Coronavirus, a lot of businesses are shutting down. So the big question is, Mrs. Xoliswa Tini, how do we keep our businesses alive? So maybe I'll hand over to you to just maybe say a few things. So that's my first question. How do we keep our businesses alive?
Good afternoon, everyone who's just joined us, and thank you very much for joining us. Unfortunately, technology, we're still getting there. COVID-19 just taught us that we need to be on virtual speaking, virtual communication. So we will have these hiccups. Simply, how do you run your business, especially small businesses? Small businesses are going to struggle very much with COVID-19 because of the technology. But how to keep it live? Number one, you need to check why you started your business and how you started your business. Because if you are clear about those things, how you started your business, it becomes easier how to keep it alive. Because our business, every business, it's a sales business in whatever form of selling. But obviously, for you to sell, you need contact with people. You need to be talking to people. The unfortunate part about COVID-19, you can't go and meet people. But the only thing we need to understand at this point, currently, is we can still talk to people, but we can't be in contact with them. But we're in a very sensitive environment. Everybody's scared. Everybody wants to know that as a person running the business, you are a caring individual. So you need to care. You need to show the care. You need to show that you are with the people. We were all shocked when this came out. So how to get your business running? You need to keep. We keep on prospecting, but this time you're not sending people anything when you first contact them. You just send them a WhatsApp caring message because you want to be in their minds. You want them to know that you are still there and caring. Just to say, hi, Luphumlo, I was just checking if you and your family are still safe and healthy. People will appreciate that. So in so doing, you are keeping your business live. And secondly, technology helps us. Technology helps us because we can be on social media, we can keep in contact, we can keep being there with our prospective clients, and they can see us all the time. You need to invest, you need to send messages of caring. You need to send message. You need to be resourceful at this stage. People are sitting in their houses. You need to be reading something, seeing an article. You need to share with the people that will be supporting your business. That those are your spheres of contacts. Then you need to contact them and send them those information. You need to invest in yourself. How do you invest in yourself? You need to practice your skill. If your skill is to prospect, you need to role play and prospect while you are at home. So because Luphumlo, what I'm sure of, as soon as the lockdown is uplifted, any people who require your services, they really need experts. They would want people who can deliver, because there is no time to play around. And this gives us time to practice, to connect, to talk to people through our technology. That's how you can keep it going.
There are so many things that you've just mentioned. I just want to zoom into one or two, and I just want you to sort of unpack one or two of those things that you are speaking about. Thank you guys for joining. I see that there are so many people that are coming in now. I'm chatting with Mrs. Xoliswa Tini. She is a well-established businesswoman in South Africa. She built an amazing property business. And I was actually reading up on her today, and I saw that in her first year of business, she turned over about 25 million rands. First year of business. So this is someone that we can learn from, and she is from the Eastern Cape. So the question is, how do we keep our businesses alive? So, ma'am, the first thing you mentioned was you need to know why you started the business. Why is that important? What's the link between knowing why you started the business and this difficult time of the coronavirus that we're finding ourselves in? How will knowing why you started the business help us to get through this difficult time?
We normally say you need to know your roots before you move forward. The why will show you how you started. I'll make an example. When I started my business, I started it from home. I was working from one room, and I knew how disciplined I was at the time. I'll get out, get into my office, be in my office the whole day. That's the why.
Wow.
And that's how I started it. And why? Because there was a lack of black estate agencies who are operating in the industry. So how did I? Now, after establishing the why, I was more focusing on how. Because once you know the why, it will give you a link to how. So the how of starting a business is to provide good service, is to be in contact with your people, is to be giving feedback now and again, is to make sure they find they're happy. That's why the why is sending you to the how. So now we find ourselves in this predicament, which we all know it's gonna pass. It's temporal, it's gonna pass. This is a recession. I mean, South Africa has been in recession. We've been economically unstable. Businesses have not been doing very well. But the difference now is we are locked down in our homes. We are forced to be at home. That's where the predicament is. So what we need to do now, we need not to stop contacting those people. Remember, when we were when the lockdown took place, we were prospecting in our businesses. We were busy closing deals. In whatever form of business you were doing something. And the people you were doing business with, they had reasons to transact that business. So now what means they haven't stopped that. We are all now and shocked. I'll tell you about my business. In this COVID-19, I'm already seeing many opportunities in real estate, for example. Wow. People are going to realize that the space is too small, it's too big. I need a smaller space. Or I didn't know I could live with my family so peacefully, then I need that time. There'll be financial challenges. People are going to divorce and get frustrated. There'll be properties to sell. People are going to lose jobs. There'll be an opportunity for those people to say, okay, I've lost my job. I had a big house. I need a smaller living. I need to start my life. People are going to need cash. They'll sell. When there's a recession, when there's a crisis, there's always an opportunity. There'll be insurance that people will be looking for currently. I mean, people realize that life is just something, so we realize that life has become so delicate. And people start thinking about taking out life covers. People are going to see many opportunities in this COVID-19. All we need to do, we've passed the shock. We have accepted that there is this crisis. The next thing, after we have acknowledged it, we need to have the coping skills. We need to see where are the opportunities, not only find opportunities, but making sure that we invest in ourselves. You educate yourself while you're at home. Like now, I didn't know how to run a meeting on Zoom. I didn't know there was something like Zoom. But now I can say I can run my trainings on Zoom. I can see that I don't have to travel. And I'm saying you need to cut the costs. Unfortunately, some of the costs we're going to have to cut in our businesses is have to lay off staff, which is not nice, but it's something that will make us survive. Is to lay off staff, is to reskill the existing staff. Like I'm reskilling myself. I would run and meet people, but now I can talk to people on FaceTime. I can explain the deal with people. While you are prospecting now, you want to, when we open up the lockdown, we are able to now to quickly run and transact under strict and under the conditions that are set out. We need to use sanitizers, cover. We're still going to run business. Life is carrying on. We need to put bread on our table. So I think what this has changed the way we used to do business. It's just forcing in us a fourth industrial revolution. We are forced to use technology. We are forced to think out of the box. We are forced to be creative. You are forced to make things and find ways of making. If you don't have a ladder, what do you use? You use a chair. You step on a chair because you don't have a ladder. So it doesn't mean those people who are new in the industry are going to say, we're not going to get this technology. How? You can start from the basics. You can start your business. Even if you were thinking of starting a business, don't get discouraged. It's still time. There's still going to be financial challenges. There's still going to be problems, but we're still going to live on. You might end up now, you've got a new business. Restaurants, people are not going to go to restaurants every day. People might start delivering, cooking and delivering. And you know what? There's one person delivering a meal. So there are many opportunities that will come up out of this COVID-19. There will be people now, instead of buying a home, they start saying, I'm still young, I can buy a farm. A home that I'm going to live in, and now invest in farming because there'll be shortage of food. So it's time that we just stand up and start thinking straight and start thinking off our feet.
Yeah. What I'm hearing from you, if I can sum it up in one line, is we need to be able to know how to reinvent ourselves. And I can see that one person here just typed innovation, and I think it speaks a lot to what you're saying now. So as entrepreneurs, we need to know how to innovate. We need to know how to come up with solutions. But it's not as easy as people make it out to be. Innovating, adapting to the change, and coming up with solutions, it's not an easy thing. So I think there are two types of people that are listening, and there are two types of people that would listen. Number one, the person that is being negatively, in fact, we're all being negatively impacted. But there's a person that will say, I don't know what to do. This is bad. It's a difficult time. I'm just going to sit down and I'll see what will happen. And then there's another person that will say, I am going to look at this differently. I'm going to try and find solutions. I'm going to try and look at the business model and change it to adapt to the change that I'm seeing in society. So how do you think, maybe going back to what you're saying, because I think you're raising a very important point. So essentially, how can that one person who's sitting down, who's saying, I don't know what to do, this is difficult, how can that one person transition and change and stand up and just gain that mentality of saying, you know what, I'm going to do something? So how can that mental shift take place? How would you advise someone like that?
You know, as you say, it needs a mental shift. It needs the realization that there is no help that's going to come anyway. I need to get myself out of the pit that I'm in. Once people realize to do that, those kind of people, they think, those kind of people are observant, those kind of people inquire questions like why. Look, let me tell you, even now, there are many people, even in my industry, that are going to duck out and say, you know what, I don't want to be an estate agent. They start thinking negative. They start saying, no, it won't work. People don't have money. Those are the people that makes the pie bigger, because when they leave the industry, other people, those that remain in the industry, that's when people make more money. If you follow history, you realize that more people made money in the times of crisis, because those ones that do not want to think around, they duck out and the pie becomes bigger. And those that remain in the industry, in whatever field of business you are in, they improve their skills, they invest in themselves, and that's when they make money. For example, there'll be investors now. There'll be people who are sitting there, because others are going to ask, who's going to buy these houses? People are losing jobs. There are investors. That's why if you are an estate agent, if you are in a small business, you know why you started that business, you need to contact with the spheres of influence, the people that are buying into your product. You need to have knowledge of that. Let me tell you now, Luphumlo,
excellent.
Things are not going to be easy. Things are going to be much more difficult. Things are going to be much more difficult, because the lazy people, the people who do not want to go and do business, are going to struggle more. The people who will be able to say, I don't mind what people think. If I have to stand by the street and sell these vegetables, because they will take, this is step one, that will take me to step two. Those are the people that are going to make it after this crisis. For every crisis, there will always be an opportunity. When I started in real estate agents in 2001, it was a time of, the interest rates were 24%. Nobody was buying. The banks were giving bonds. Many estate agents moved out of the industry. They didn't want to start a business. But that was the time when most people were selling, investors were buying. There will be people who do not want to own properties but want to rent properties. There's the developers who realize that we need retirement villages which are lacking. They'll start to study the market. It is the time that people need to study the market, the industry that they're performing in it. I mean, life has been made very easy. I always say life is made easy now, because everything is on the internet. Everything. And another thing that we've learned in this, we can work from a small space. You don't need big and fancy offices. You can work from a small office, get in contact and skill your people and let your people run their businesses. That's what this has taught me. Why would you pay a big rent when somebody can take a space in his or her own home and run a business from there? So these are the opportunities that are coming up. And now this is calling on digitalization. We're going to digitalize all documents. We don't have to take documents. People need, even if you don't want to be computer savvy, it's time either you groom your granddaughters, if you still want to be relevant, or groom your children. Like now I'm helped by my daughter. I'm trying to learn the skill, and she's been playing around and assisting me. Because obviously the age, this is the time